Today we're driving the 2025 Volkswagen Taos. This gets a mid-cycle refresh for 2025. It sees some engine updates. It now makes 174 horsepower from its 1.5-liter turbo, and the 7-speed dual clutch with a 4-motion all-wheel drive Taos is replaced with an 8-speed automatic transmission, which behaves a little bit better. It's a bit smoother. We've got some interior changes, a couple exterior tweaks. I mean, overall, Volkswagen has kind of gone through this Taos and improved it in many, many little ways. This SEL costs $36,000, so it's kind of pricey, but you can get into one of these for about 26 grand with a base S. Let's walk you guys around it, talk about what's been like to live with this week, and then we'll take it for a drive and give you guys some driving impressions. This Taos is painted in bright moss green metallic, which is kind of a sharp looking color on this. I like it. We have 19-inch wheels, Goodyear Assurance Finesse tires in 235/45 R19s. They're actually quite decent in the snow. As you can see, it's snowing a little bit right now. We've got some snow on the road, so we'll give you guys some winter driving impressions on this 4-motion all-wheel drive Volkswagen Taos. New taillights, new rear fascia. Okay, looking all right, looking good. I've always liked the smaller proportions of the Volkswagen Taos. It does this trick where it almost feels like it's a little bit bigger inside than it is on the outside. One of the larger interior spaces in its class. I mean, just look at this back seat room. That's almost colossal. I'm 5'10", this is my driving position. I have just loads of legroom and footroom in front of me. We get rear vents, a USB port, a pretty attractive looking interior. Volkswagen hasn't completely done away with all the buttons in this Taos interior, which I really appreciate. We get physical buttons on the steering wheel, a few haptic controls down there for the climate, but they're all pretty easy to use and nicely separated. They even work with the gloves on, which is nice. I like this gray and black interior. Seats look good, they're nicely bolstered. Lots of headroom, even with the panoramic moonroof. There's your armrest. I mean, you know, what else do you need from your compact crossover? Nice low load floor here for the rear cargo area. We even get a compact spare tire. Sadly, Volkswagen doesn't include this adorable little green ice scraper. That's probably from our fleet company. Tailgate is light. No exhaust tips. Interesting. Overall, neat looking little crossover. Good proportions. Pretty fuel efficient too. 25 miles to the gallon in the city, 33 on the highway for a 28 mpg combined rating. There's that 1.5-liter turbo. Pretty quiet, kind of smooth. Doesn't feel like the strongest engine in the class, but nothing is super powerful here either. It's not as asthmatic as it was before, now making 174 horsepower. Volkswagen has gone through the internals of the engine, made a little bit more power, and it drives fine, honestly, with this 8-speed automatic. This is also offered in front-wheel drive, and honestly, unless if you live in the snow belt, that's probably what I would go with. You save quite a bit of weight, gain a little bit of fuel efficiency, and you know, the all-wheel drive does drive great in the winter. And if you're going to be driving in slippery environments pretty often, it is nice to have, but not entirely necessary for everyone. And you could save a little bit of money just going front-wheel drive here. All right, so what do we need to talk about? Infotainment. We get wireless CarPlay, this Volkswagen infotainment system, which seems to be a little bit quicker. The 8-inch touchscreen is now standard. That's nice. You get brightness controls there, a few quick access buttons, vehicle settings. This is ambient lighting that you can adjust and change. You have off-road information here. A few different drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom. And then we have a few additional drive modes: Snow Mode, Normal, Off-Road Auto, and Off-Road Custom. Very neat. I'm sure that deals with traction control, etc. There's no real home button. I guess just this menu is kind of your home button. Lots of settings. There's a menu here for your climate control. Though you pretty much get everything you need down here. Heated and ventilated seats that you can turn on at the same time, total baller status. Heated steering wheel, one of 3 settings for that, which is nice. Fully digital gauge cluster. Lots of menus in there. I kind of like this navigation menu. Let's go into CarPlay. Everything seems to work pretty well. Nice and responsive in this infotainment. And you get some little haptic clicks there whenever you move things around. Wireless charging, engine start stop button, parking brakes right down here. I mean, all your controls are pretty much where you need them. And Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Here's your reverse camera. Kind of dirty right now with the snow and slush on the roads, but shows you what you need to see. No 360 cam here for your almost 37 grand. Though I do appreciate we get a traditional shifter. That's nice. The materials in here all look pretty nice. I like these painted surfaces here. And the contrast between the gray and the black leather does look pretty sharp. Little slide. Nice big mirror there. Got a few different controls up here for your interior lights, your sunroof operation. Look at that. That is a big honkin' sunroof right there. Wow. And then you've got your shade back there. And a symphony of motor whirring. All right, let's go drive this Taos and see what it's like on the road. Is that a little bit of tire rub? Interesting. Sounds like it. Ride is comfortable. We get double wishbone suspension in this all-wheel drive model as opposed to torsion beam rear in the front-wheel drive Taos. Honestly, 99% of people won't be able to tell the difference. Engine is reasonably quiet. Good amount of power, good amount of torque for the class. I mean, ultimately, this thing drives just fine. Ride quality is decent even on these 19-inch wheels. What I'm most impressed with this week is just winter traction. These Goodyear tires do pretty well. Volkswagen is kind of notorious for putting crappy all-season tires on all their cars, and this is actually seems like a decent all-weather tire. All your inputs are very light. Steering wheel material feels nice and soft. Good quality leathers, good quality touch points here in this Volkswagen Taos. Really nothing too different from what we've seen from Volkswagen the last 15 years or so, but still, it's nice for the class. This 8-speed automatic is kind of the unsung hero of this 2025 refresh. It really does a nice job shifting gears, and I like the way it holds gears and allows you to use this engine's torque to your advantage when driving. It's not downshifting too much, and when it does so smoothly. Pulling there up to red line. Nice confident brake pedal feel. A little bit of steering feel there. Weights up nicely around a corner. I mean, this drives great. It's easy to drive. You have great visibility. Adaptive cruise control. Let's see if I can figure out the buttons here. Travel assist as well. Bunch of following distance settings. Volkswagen's travel assist system does do a nice job keeping you centered between the lines, and the adaptive cruise control does work pretty smoothly. It will prompt you to take over the steering every 15 seconds or so. As long as you keep your hand on the wheel, it doesn't bother you too much. And it works well too on back roads. You don't always have to be using it on the highway. Getting a little bit more road noise at speed here, especially on these 19-inch wheels. That's probably not helping matters. Love the visibility here though. Really nice low belt line. I can get nice and high in this driver's seat. And the fact that that's just tons of headroom really helps too. Driving position is comfortable. Again, I'm 5'10" and I fit pretty well in here. No major complaints. Oh no, there's a GR86 on the side of the road. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. What about the sound system? Has a volume knob. Thank you, Volkswagen. Volume controls right here on the steering wheel. Track selection on this side. Sound system is acceptable, though not amazing. Good power there, merging onto the highway. Can't really push this around a corner too much today just because of the conditions, but earlier this week when we did have drier weather, it felt pretty good around a corner. Ultimately, I don't think too many people are going to be spending almost 37 grand for their Volkswagen Taos. You're probably going to be better suited to get one of the mid-level trims for around $28,000 or $30,000. The big win here is interior space and packaging, and of course that feel and German engineering that you get from a Volkswagen. It just feels a little bit nicer than some of the other vehicles in the class. All right, let's find some snow. Show you guys what this can do in the winter. Also, we've been in sport mode this whole time, and I like what the gearbox is doing with the revs, keeping them nice and high. It senses when I'm going around a corner, when I need those extra RPMs for more power delivery coming out of a corner. Really good transmission tuning here with this 8-speed. It's an easy car to drive, an easy car to live with and use. And I think that's pretty much all you can ask for a car in this segment. The short wheelbase here gives this a pretty nimble feel going around corners. It's easy to place, not too big on the road. This would make a nice city car too. Pretty bumpy section of road here. Ride quality is excellent. Still getting a little bit of NVH over these bumps from those 19-inch wheels and tires, but not terrible, not super boomy. We've heard better, we've heard worse. Rear wiper. There's also a sport mode for the transmission, but honestly, just putting my drive mode into sport mode felt like it was doing everything that it needed to. We've also got a button here to turn off start stop. Overall, this interior feels pretty tight. No major creaks or rattles. A couple little noises from the back there, but for the most part, this is a pretty quiet interior. Volkswagens have sometimes struggled with interior rattles, and this one actually feels pretty good. I like these steering wheel controls. Once you kind of accustom yourself to what everything does and how it all works, cruise control is super easy to operate. It's intuitive and it makes sense. Sometimes with these new steering wheel buttons in cars that accommodate adaptive cruise control, lane centering, all that stuff, it gets a little bit complicated. This is a pretty nice design. I like having the heated steering wheel button right here on the steering wheel, quickly accessible by the driver. Overall, interior ergonomics are quite nice in this Volkswagen Taos. All right, we've got some deeper snow here. These are unplowed sections of parking lot, and we will show you guys how this performs. So, good cornering grip here. Nice turn in on these Goodyear Assurance tires. Braking performance, excellent. ABS doesn't kick in too early. And acceleration with 4Motion all-wheel drive gives me a lot of confidence. And we're not even in snow mode. Yeah, that feels pretty good. We can turn some things off. Let's see what that does. We go to menu. How do we turn things off? Vehicle, off-road. I don't know. How do you turn traction control off in your Volkswagen? Car. No. ESC, here we go. ASR, I don't know what that is. Traction control. ESC Sport. Yeah. Very nice. Well, it kind of bogged down there. I don't think you can fully disable everything in this Volkswagen Taos. That's pretty typical though for Volkswagen. Nothing new there. But basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this handles pretty well in the snow. No complaints driving in these winter conditions this week. And the 4Motion all-wheel drive actually works quite well. Look at that. Good stuff. Very nice. All right, well, there's your drive in the 2025 Volkswagen Taos SEL. Overall, pretty nice car. Maybe a little bit expensive in this trim, but you don't always have to go for the top trim like we get in every press car that we test. There are less expensive and probably more economical options that could make more sense for your use case scenario. So we will turn traction control back on, walk you guys around this one more time, and that'll be a wrap on this video. That's just awful. I wish Volkswagen would get rid of that. Oh, key's nice too. Look at that. Simple, nice design. You can remote start this, pop the tailgate. Well, it's not. It's just manually operated, but you can unlock the tailgate from a distance. I like what they've done with the taillights. It's a simple, clean design. Takes regular fuel too. And it's green. I know. What does ASR off do? Oh, that's just traction off. So this is ESC slightly off and traction mostly off. Surprisingly fun in the snow in 4Motion all-wheel drive form. So yeah, if you have snow, maybe you should get the all-wheel drive Taos.